Welcome to my channel Career at 360. Today we'll do the third session of data modeling and data automation. Let me tell you that you can learn Excel from thousands of very good teachers available on our YouTube, and they are expert in Excel skills. But what I think is that maybe they never worked in a corporate environment. They can be a good teacher, but in my case, I will teach you to practically apply Excel knowledge to a real office-based scenario data and hands-on practical knowledge to create an automated worksheet, which you may not found it anywhere on a YouTube. Okay. Today, the case which I'll be discussing with you, as like a previous cases, is a core activity which you as a financial analyst, as a budgeting analyst, as a business analyst or sales analyst, whatever it is, you have to do these things on a day-to-day basis. And there are thousands of professionals who are doing similar tasks and are well paid in the market. So whether you want to be a sales analyst, data analyst, budget, business analyst, or a financial analyst, you will get such data to do the analysis and to make the report. So let's first discuss what is data modeling and data automation, which I normally repeats. So to me, is data modeling helps in a visual representation of a data and enforce business rules, regulatory compliances, and government policies on the data. Or in simple word, it is a skill that helps you to convert a large data into a summarized form to help management to do the decision making more effectively in a shorter period. And this is what we'll be doing today, that we'll be converting a large data into such a manner that management can do a decision making. And second thing, which is a data automation, is a simple skill where you use your advanced Excel skills to bring in more efficiency and accuracy into your work, and you by avoiding repeated actions and some of the manual things which you have to do, which can affect your productivity also. So let's start with an example today. So let's say more than 10 years I worked in one of the multinationals which head office located in UK, and they are doing business in more than 150 countries around the world. So based on my experience with that huge multinational company, I'm sharing very similar sort of a scenario or data so that you can understand the things. Okay, so first of all, let's see this. This is a very basic chart which is my sort of a master data, which has a simple serial number, and then PC means profit centers. So what is profit center? In other words, are called the departments also. Okay, so these are my finance department and HR and information, and these departments are further divided into the cost centers. For example, finance is divided into 4 cost centers, starting from 10, 10, 20, 10, 30, 10, 40, and the finance is treasury, which is payables and receivables. Second is finance, which is legal and taxation, and there's the management reporting and the supply chain. Okay, and then there's two cost centers of HR, and then there are another 2 for information technology or IT, and there are a couple of around 12 for the supply chain, which is procurement for local imports, quality control, quality assurance, warehouse, logistics, stores. Then they have different production lines or production areas. So every cost center has a manager, and same is marketing. They have different brand categories, trade marketings, and some customer service, and some other module. And then comes the sales. Sales is again divided into different cost centers, and these are the cost center. They have different they have divided their sales region into 5-6 regions, and every region has a sales manager, and then the MIS data and customer service and customer claims, whatever it is. So altogether there are 40 different cost centers. Okay, so now this is basically a budgeting activity. What happens that the directors of my company, which is like let me share you a template. Let's say there is a finance director, there's an HR director, information technology, IT director, supply chain, marketing, sales directors. They have taken their information from the departments, from their cost center managers, discuss that information, finally approve that information, and send it to the region or a head office in UK. And once it is has been sent and has been approved, now they gave me, my boss or my finance director shared me this summary, that this is the total budget which has been approved, and let's say we are doing budgeting for 3 years in advance. So this is my current year, and then we have done budgeting for 2021, 2022, 2023. So 3 years of a budgeting. Now where's the breakup of this of these amounts? So for the breakup of this amount, I've been told, or I know that I have to download the data from my ERP, which is SAP in that case, and then I will reconcile my data. Now let me share you my SAP screen here. So here is the data which is downloaded. So it is almost 14,000 rows data. Okay, 14,000 rows. Why? Because there is a cost center and their GL expenses or GL codes, and then they have this current LE 12 months for 2020, and then there's a 12 months for 2021, and then the 12 months for 2022, and there's another 12 months for 2023. So altogether 48 columns of a data. So 48 columns for 40 cost centers, and every cost center has around more than 100 GL. And at the end of this, when I downloaded, there is a total over here at the end of the cost center. That 1010 has a total these numbers here. Okay, so actually they are not the because I cannot share some of the real numbers with you, so they are just like a replacement of the real numbers. Okay, so don't go on to the technical side of the numbers. So now what happens that I've downloaded this report from SAP, and now this 14,000 rows data into 48 columns needs to be reconciled against these numbers. Okay, and so it's a great task. I have to do a reconciliation. So what I do, first of all, first thing which I've decided is that let me add all the totals of this sheet, so that I may know that how much is the total amount available. I cannot do a total sum which is a sum from this point to the row number 1 or row number 2. Why? Because there's numbers and there's subtotals. So now I've decided to pick the subtotals only into my total. And how can I do that? That's a simple formula which is called a sum if, which we have done previously. If you go into my Excel modules, you may find some of the sum if functions over there or examples over there. So go into maths and trigonometry and pull your cursor down, and you may find over here sum if. Yes, I want to pick a sum if. Okay, what is my range where this criteria is available? So as you know that in the GL column at the end of each cost center there is a total. So in that case, what I will do, I will say that this is my range from here till here, till the bottom. And because I want to copy this vertically, so I want to log this through the dollar sign, and in that criteria find what? Find this thing, a total. Okay, in that find the total, and again I want to copy this vertically, so I want to lock this data, and if it is found, then sum what? Naturally sum for January, sum the Jan month. So over here I will copy till the bottom, and because I want to move it horizontal and I want D to become E and so on, so I will only put the dollar on the row and say okay. Let me check the dollar sign here. Yes, I'm okay, and enter. And now simply I can copy this to the last number, and that's how I know that these numbers are the total of these 40 cost centers. Now let me create another file here. Okay, so now I want those 14,000 rows to be converted into the cost centers. And how many cost centers? 40. So I want this 14,000 to be converted into 42 rows or 40 rows. So what I have decided, that as I've told you earlier, that at the end of each cost center, there's a total here. So I want to pick these totals into my working sheet over here. I want to bring over here the totals of the cost centers. How can I do that? Now there are two things. One, I have to find this number over here into this GL, and if it is found, If it is found, then do what? Don't pick the totals, then go and pick the total where this is total here. So now there are two criteria. So some if will not work, some if will not work, some ifs will work, where I can use two criteria. Okay, so please remember, column B is for the cost center and C is for the total. So I'll put my cursor over here, and for the first row, yeah, over here I will say maths and trigonometry, go down and pick some ifs. Sum. Now because I want to bring a month of a January total here, so sum range, I will go into this sheet and I will select my Jan from the first row till the last row, which is 14041. And because I want to copy it vertically, so I want to lock my rows here. So not rows, yeah, only rows, because I want D to become February, which is E, and then March, which is F, and so on. And in that criteria, find what is my criteria in the first one? So I will say find this thing over here, which is my cost center. Okay, in that range, find my cost center over here, and I will select the total, which is like this. And again, because I want to copy till the end, so what I will do, criteria range, sorry, it's not here, the criteria range is over here, sorry, this thing. So when sum found, I want to find my GL cost center number. So cost center number, the criteria is over here, and because again I want to copy this formula here, so I want to put the dollar sign over here, and I want to lock my column B and rows also. And if that thing is found, what is my criteria over here? Then I will come here and say find this code, which is 1010, which is a cost center. And because I want to copy it vertically, so I want to put the dollar before B. So one thing. Second, what is my criteria? My criteria range is over here, and go into the GL codes, start from here, go at the bottom, because the total is over here, and again I want to copy it vertically, so I will prefer to put the dollar sign everywhere. I don't want to lose this column, so over here. And if it is found, then do what? Pick this criteria from there. So don't pick all the numbers from the GL, only pick the line where there's the total is. And once it's done, and again, because I want to copy it vertically, so I want to put the dollar sign before C. Okay, and this is all, it's done, and I'll say enter, and it says this thing. Now simply I will do nothing. I will double click, because it will be copied vertically, and then I can go down to the 14 rows, and I can copy it to all my 48 months. Okay, so basically what I've done is I've copied everything, and now I'll come down. Now as you can see that this 17,000, if I double click over here, from where it's coming from here, because you remember we have done previously, we have done a sum if to bring in the total of each month from the total. So now I linked this thing with my working over here, and as you can see in all, and this is the difference. So there's no difference coming in any of the column, and hence I'm successful in converting my 14,000 rows data to 48 columns or 40 columns, and it is all reconciled. It's all reconciled till the end. So now I'm happy, because at every step I have to make sure that my data is reconciled, because otherwise I cannot hold the data. So now first task is completed, and that is that I've converted 14,000 into 40 rows, and it is totally reconciled. Now I can go here, and let me show you first the 2020. So 2020 is starting from E till P, E and P. So remember E and P. So I will go further down over here, and now I've converted 48 columns, which are 4 years, into 4 columns. How? I simply says here, simple sum formula, go sum from E3, which we have says which is January till December 2020, and then same we have done here, Q3 to AB, and this is this. So these are which columns over here? Let's say I say what is E3 and P3. So I go home. So this is E3. E3 start from here and till here P3, and the total is 523. And now if I go here, this is 523. So now I've moved it to the 4 columns. So technically I've converted 14,000 rows to 40 rows and 48 columns to 4 columns. So, and again at the end of here I want to reconcile. So I can say that again, add E to P, which is a 44 row over here, which I'm bringing from the source file over here, which is SAP. I want to reconcile, and it says again, if you add those 12 months from the source file, which is SAP, it is 29 and 6, and again my 4 columns are reconciled. Now I'm very much happy. Okay, now I've decided that what I will do, that I will bring the totals here. Now I want to convert this data into the 4 columns. Okay, so how can I do that? I want to use a sum formula over here, and you remember BB, BC, BD and B4 are my data where I've converted them into 4 years. Okay, let me show you one more time. Yeah, here. So this is BB, BC, BD and BE. Now I want to convert them into over here so that I can use this data to bring my data into my template here. Okay, and right now one thing more about the template here, because there's nothing over here, so all the numbers are appearing over here as a difference. For example, I'm just putting it as an example. If I put this number 2, if I just copy this number, Control C and Control paste values over here, you can see it becomes 0 or white. Why? Because there's no difference between the numbers over there and numbers over here. So now into this green color, I want to bring the numbers from my working file in such a manner that when I fill all this thing, my all red become white and there'll be no difference here. Okay, so that's a control on my working. So over here at the bottom, what I say is, let me bring in the data of the 4 years into the profit center wise so that I can allocate it into over there. Okay, so I will say is equals to, not is equal, let's go here and say sum if range. What is my range over here? I want to bring the totals of this because I want to pick this thing 1010 over here. So I will go here into my cost centers and I will say total all 1010. Okay, and because I want to move the formula, so I'll be putting a $sign, and if it is in this range, find what word? Find this thing B51, which is my cost center. Go into this range and find 1010, and again because I want to copy it, I want to put a $sign before my B here because I want B, and I want 51 to become 52 and 53, so I will put the $sign here. And if it is found, if in this stage this 1010 is found, then do what? Go on to column BB and bring me the full year, which is 2020. Okay, and start it from here and go till the bottom, till this total. And again because I want to copy this formula, so I want to put a $sign on the rows, not on the column reference, because I want BB to become BC, BD and so on. And we'll say enter. Okay, and now system bring me this total, and initially I will copy this thing over here and see if this 1757 is reconciled, because this is what the total is. And let me copy it to all 40 totals over here. Okay, so now this is 2996, which is the total of 2020. And how do I know? If I go over here at BB, this says 2996,224. So that means now I brings all the things here. And let me try, if I put all the dollar signs properly, I think it should copy all the columns, which is 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24. Let's give it a try. And here we go. So now all these coming from the column BB, BC, BD and B4, which is the total of the 4 years. So now at each stage my data is reconciled. So now what I can do is I can go onto my template, and I will go over here, and there it's not a cost center wise, it's a department wise, profit center wise. So I will say, and these numbers are in thousand. Please remember, this is it is into 1,000. So I will go over here and say is equal to sum bracket start, go into my working and add all these finance numbers. And because I want to copy it vertically, so I want columns to be changed, not the row. So I will put the dollar sign over here and say enter, and like this. And as you can see, oh, divided this by 1,000 is I missed, because it's 1,000, so I have to divide it by 1,000. Now you can see the moment I put this thing, this becomes 0, and now I can copy this formula to the whole of the finance, and you can see that all the finance becomes 0. Let me do it one more time. See, right now there's a differences, but because the formula is done in such a way, it will be coming 0. So it's all done. And to save the time, what I've already done, that I've already put the formula over here. So I will just go into my home ribbon and display you the formula. Okay, and simply hold them from here and go over here. Yeah, the simple formula. Let's say, let me show you one more time. Let's say if I delete this supply here, so 0, what I've done for this is equals to sum bracket start, go over here, and where supply chain is starting from here. So start from here, go till here, and because I want to copy, I want to lock my rows numbers, not the column. So I will say this, enter, and divide by 1,000. Don't forget to divide by 1,000 here. So now all this thing get reconciled, even each penny is reconciled. And in case anybody has changed something into a data, so I'm doing nothing. The first thing which is I've been downloaded, which is 93, what I'm doing is I say is equals to minus 10. I'll just put an impact of a $10 into this amount. Now because this is all linked here, and if I go into my template, can you see it's because it's in 1,000, it's showing you like this. But if I open the decimal, you can see that the difference appears. Whatever is the difference, it appears over here. So that's the beauty. If I have made once the reconciliation, now I can control the number. Every time you download the numbers into this sheet, all the other workings are always available here, and you can always make sure that record. Now what I do, if it's a year end has done and the next year is starting, as soon as the next year will start, if this is a downloaded data already up over there, I will move it to the respective cost centers or a respective folders, and I can give a go signal to the people that as soon as 2021 will start, that yes, I've downloaded data, it's all reconciled. Now you can do that, because you know, once the year end starts or the new year start, nobody can start the transactions in the system until it is not reconciled. Now, whatever concept I've used, if you are working in a company, you can use the same concept, like if you have to do inventory reconciliations, if you have to, because if you're working in a company, maybe some of the companies use the standard cost, so you have to update the standard cost in the first, second or third of January every year into the system. So now you can and those are the huge reconcile datas, so you can reconcile your inventory, you can reconcile your standard costing datas, you can reconcile your sales or whatever. You can always do that. Okay, so I hope that you have learned something, but this is a one very conservational approach. I will continue this thing, and I will come up with the pivot table, and I will come with the power pivot table also, how to solve it with those queries. So I may be giving you 2 to 3 versions of this example. So this is one way of doing some things, and there are many other ways I can help you to solve this problem. So stay tuned with me, and I hope you have learned something new today. And if so, then please give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel, and also press the bell button, so that whenever I will update this data modeling and data automation series, you will get informed immediately. Please also share my YouTube with your friends and colleagues in your schools, colleges, and universities, or in your family, so that all other people can also learn. And as soon as this environment will be over, after this COVID-19 and the market will be open, there will be we have to stay positive. There will be many new vacancies coming in. So get yourself trained, because once you get trained, you can be hired into the market. So upgrade yourself during these days. Don't waste this time, and use all those things. So again, what you are learning here, I've learned all those things in my 20+ years of experience. So I want you to get this thing in just few weeks, so that when you go, your concepts are very clear. You can conceive the ideas, and you can use those datas with these concepts, and you can create those automated data modeling files, which at the start of your job will bring a good name to you, and your bosses will be happy with you. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.